A grievous famine held the land of Canaan in its relentless grip, its severity deepening with each passing day. The stores of grain dwindled, and the specter of starvation loomed large over Jacob's household. Action became an imperative, for inaction promised only despair. Jacob, burdened by the plight of his family, instructed his sons to undertake another perilous journey to Egypt. They were to procure more sustenance from the land of plenty, lest they all perish from hunger. The memory of their previous encounter with the formidable Egyptian ruler, however, cast a long shadow. Judah, ever the pragmatist, reminded his aged father of the Egyptian viceroy's unyielding demand. The powerful official had explicitly stated that they would not again see his face unless their youngest brother Benjamin accompanied them. This condition now presented an insurmountable obstacle. The brothers, united in their apprehension, declared their inability to return to Egypt without Benjamin. They recounted the viceroy's stern words, emphasizing that their very lives depended on fulfilling his command. To proceed without their youngest brother would be to invite certain imprisonment or worse. Jacob, his voice heavy with sorrow, expressed profound distress over his earlier revelation of Benjamin's existence. He lamented the circumstances that had compelled him to speak of his youngest son, a disclosure that now placed Benjamin in unforeseen peril. The weight of past words pressed heavily upon him. The brothers, seeking to alleviate their father's burden, explained their predicament. They had been subjected to a rigorous interrogation by the Egyptian ruler, who had inquired deeply into their family and lineage. They had been compelled to answer his questions truthfully, revealing the existence of their father and their youngest brother. Judah, driven by the desperate need for food and the survival of his family, passionately urged Jacob to send Benjamin with them. He painted a stark picture of their impending doom, emphasizing that their very lives hung in the balance. To delay further was to court certain death. In a profound act of commitment, Judah offered himself as surety for Benjamin's safe return. He pledged his own life and honor, declaring that if he failed to bring Benjamin back to their father, he would bear the blame forever. This solemn vow underscored the gravity of the situation. Judah further emphasized the critical urgency of their mission and the precious time already squandered in deliberation. Each passing moment brought them closer to utter destitution. Swift action was paramount if they were to avert the catastrophe of starvation. Jacob, his heart torn between fear for Benjamin and the dire necessity of their situation, reluctantly agreed. He uttered the fateful words, "If it must be so," acknowledging the inescapable truth that their survival depended on this perilous undertaking. His resignation was palpable. Jacob, having resigned himself to the inevitable, began to issue instructions for their journey. He commanded his sons to prepare a selection of the finest produce of Canaan as gifts for the powerful Egyptian ruler. These offerings included balm, honey, gum, resin, pistachios, and almonds. Furthermore, Jacob commanded them to take double the amount of money for their grain. This included the silver they had mysteriously discovered in their sacks upon their previous return. He sought to rectify any perceived error or misunderstanding from their last visit. Jacob acknowledged the perplexing incident of the returned money, suggesting it might have been an oversight or a mistake on the part of the Egyptians. He wished to ensure that no accusation of dishonesty could be leveled against his sons. His integrity was paramount. With a heavy heart, Jacob reiterated his instruction for them to take Benjamin with them. This was the most difficult command, yet he understood its absolute necessity. The fate of his entire household rested upon this single, painful decision. In a moment of profound supplication, Jacob prayed for divine intervention. He implored God Almighty to grant his sons mercy in the sight of the formidable Egyptian ruler, he sought divine favor to protect Benjamin and ensure their safe passage. Finally, Jacob resigned himself to the potential for further bereavement. He uttered words of profound sorrow, acknowledging that if he was to be bereaved of his children, then so be it. His spirit was prepared for the worst, yet he clung to a flicker of hope. The sons of Jacob, laden with their precious gifts, the double money, and accompanied by Benjamin, embarked upon their arduous journey to Egypt. Their hearts were a mixture of hope and trepidation, knowing the immense stakes involved in their mission. They arrived at last in the land of the Nile. Joseph, the viceroy of Egypt, saw his youngest brother Benjamin among his brethren. A wave of profound emotion swept over him, a sight he had longed for, yet one that brought with it a complex tapestry of memories and unresolved feelings. The moment was charged with unspoken history. Overcome by the sight, Joseph immediately ordered his steward to bring the men to his own house. He further instructed the steward to prepare a lavish meal, signifying an honor and attention that was both unexpected and deeply significant. The stage was set for a momentous encounter. The brothers, upon being led to Joseph's grand house, became deeply apprehensive. Their previous experiences in Egypt had taught them caution, and this unexpected invitation filled them with unease. They questioned the true intent behind such an unusual summons. Their apprehension quickly turned to fear. They worried that they were being brought to Joseph's house to be accused of stealing the money they had found in their sacks. They feared being seized, enslaved, and having their donkeys confiscated as punishment. In their distress, they approached the steward, seeking to explain their situation. They recounted the perplexing discovery of their money in their bags during their return journey. They wished to clarify any misunderstanding before it escalated into a grave accusation. The steward, perceiving their distress, immediately sought to reassure them. He spoke words of comfort, stating unequivocally that they had no need to fear. His calm demeanor began to assuage their anxieties, though their apprehension lingered. The steward then offered a profound explanation for the mysterious return of their money. He attributed it to your God and the God of your father, suggesting a divine hand in the matter. This unexpected theological insight offered a measure of peace to the troubled brothers. Furthermore, the steward confirmed that he had indeed received their payment for the grain. This direct affirmation dispelled their fears of being accused of theft. The mystery of the returned money remained, but the immediate threat of accusation was lifted. To their immense relief and joy, Simeon, who had been held hostage since their previous visit, was brought out to them. His release was a powerful testament to the steward's words, and a sign that their fears were, for the moment, unfounded. The family was reunited, albeit partially. The steward then led the men inside Joseph's house, extending hospitality befitting honored guests. Water was provided for their weary feet, a customary gesture of welcome after a long journey. Fodder was also given to their donkeys, ensuring the comfort of their beasts of burden. When Joseph finally arrived, the brothers presented their carefully chosen gifts, laying them before him in a gesture of profound respect and submission. They bowed down before him, acknowledging his immense authority and power. The air was thick with anticipation. Joseph, maintaining his composure, inquired about the well-being of their aged father. His question was direct and filled with an underlying yearning, though he concealed his true identity. He sought news of the patriarch he had not seen in decades. Then, Joseph's gaze fell upon Benjamin, his full brother, the son of his mother Rachel. He blessed Benjamin, uttering words of favor and affection. The sight of his brother so long separated stirred a deep well of emotion within him. Overwhelmed by the profound reunion and the weight of his hidden identity, Joseph was overcome with emotion. He quickly sought a private place, withdrawing from the presence of his brothers. There, in solitude, he wept, allowing the torrent of his feelings to flow freely.